Education and the schooling system have gradually become a system of learning and teaching knowledge for the purposes of assessing and providing in the community. In this generation and for the future of our students, we must turn our efforts to ensuring that classrooms and curriculums encourage and conjure new realities and possibilities, as we incorporate both imagination and creativity in the education system. On the screen, my mind map, created for the purpose of understanding the extent of imagination and creativity, as well as demonstrating my own understanding of both concepts, is shown and will be explored throughout. But firstly, what is imagination? Imagination is the ability to generate new ideas and realities. John Dewey visualized imagination as the gateway through which meanings derived from past experiences find their way into the present. This encapsulates the way in which imagination enables us to make connections between parts of our life experience and tapping into creating new experiences through it. Acting upon our imagination calls for spontaneity, acting with freedom, and to be original and constructive in breaking away from the norm. It demonstrates an ability to break with what is supposedly fixed and finished, objectively and independently real, and make connections to new beginnings and realities. It provides individuals with a sense of empathy by looking at different points of views, even those at odds with our own. Creativity, on the other hand, is the culmination of curiosity, knowledge, and imagination, and their collision in generating ideas and making connections between what we know now and any desired future outcomes that we have. It requires both originality and effectiveness, and is present wherever there is a body of knowledge that can be applied to create for individuals and communities. Whilst imagination is a mental and thought-filled process, creativity is a tangible form that allows individuals to express their ideas and new realities through. This tangible form of creativity leads to innovation, often starting with a question, challenge, or a series of events that prompt action. Let's take a moment and imagine if we lived in a world where schools were driven by the knowledge that all students have the capacity for creativity in the same way that everyone has the ability to communicate. A world where creative possibility, communication, and collaboration are at the heart of education, instead of streamlined learning and standardized testing. This would change how we teach and what we teach the future generation. Both imagination and creativity manifest itself across multiple learning subjects and fields, and is both present and able to be taught in every area of knowledge. Why isn't this a reality if it's creativity and imagination that identifies possibilities and opportunities that may not have been noticed by others? Our education system must turn its focus towards creating pedagogies and curriculums designed to teach for creativity and the encouragement of imagination from its students. Cindy Foley explores the notion of teaching students to employ the habits that artists employ. These habits are broken down into three elements, the first being comfortability with ambiguity. This part of the process taps into having discomfort in not knowing and becoming comfortable with vague guidance. This first element is further justified by Jefferson and Anderson, who note that creativity requires discipline and resilience to withstand the reiterations required as the project is being developed or when things do not work as planned. The second element of the habit explored by Foley is idea generation and the potential for ideas within. This part of the process is an important element in ensuring that students are given the courage and confidence to bring their imagination to life through creative outlets. These moments are likely to occur when students have gained enough information to think in new ways, to form new connections, and develop new insights. The last of the process is transdisciplinary research that serves to satiate curiosity of students. In this way, subjects become in service to ideas and guide creative and imaginative thought, and not the other way around, aiming to stop the decreasing of self-efficacy and motivation of students. As teachers, we must work towards teaching for creativity to ensure that students question and reflect on what inspires their imagination and curiosities. In a world where change is inevitable, we must make changes and cater to students in ensuring that education and the schooling system reflect these abundant creative minds. In this way, the ideas are given a platform to become a reality, tangible in their expression, and innovative in the application and adoption of the ideas. This form of teaching intends to develop students' creative thinking and behavior. Specifically, making modifications to pedagogy includes teaching creatively, as a creative teacher inspires imaginative and creative students. Foley and Savage comment on the importance of stimulating curiosity in students to encourage creative thinking. By making modifications in lesson plans and pedagogy to include a broad range of activities and opportunities for group work, students work towards creative outcomes. Providing them with the freedom to question and take risks in their learning process encourages their grasp on knowledge. The use of the highest level of thinking in Bloom's taxonomy further demonstrates the result of thinking and creativity, maximizing the imaginative potential and freedom of students. Simply using the first few levels of this taxonomy in lessons does not provide students with the ability to be original and expand on their knowledge. By modifying these pedagogies and lesson plans, education that fosters critical reflective thought, imaginative problem posing, and discourse is learner centered and interactive. This is what we must turn our attention to for the future generation, whereby classrooms are a place for mental energy and flow that focuses its attention and self-motivates the actions of students in guiding their learning. Subjects like drama and art, which are more obviously known as being creative, are heavily focused on collaboration, risk-taking, and questioning as a form of developing and broadening a student's imagination and creativity. Students are consistently encouraged to build on the ideas of others and are stimulated in their social interactions that mold them, whilst prompting them to think outside of the box consistently. These subjects offer its students opportunities to shape new knowledge, emphasizing the significance of their interaction with existing knowledge and fostering ideas of the unknown. The capacity for imaginative learning is endless in teaching students to exhibit empathy, be comfortable with ambiguity, create meaning, question, and notice deeply the knowledge and content they take in. More typically known creative subjects like these ensure that students are given a sense of agency in their own lives and their own learning, by allowing them to seek their own possibilities and originality in the imagination and creativity they explore. Just as creativity, imagination, and innovation are important in more obviously known creative subjects like art, drama, or music, where they are at the core of its teaching, many other unlikely subjects possess levels of creativity that students are free to explore their minds in, specifically the subject of history. As a history teacher, creativity needs to be applied correctly in the classroom through the use of multiple and varied teaching methods. This ensures that students are given full exploration of topics and allows for the students to demonstrate their knowledge and understanding in multiple forms. This broad subject allows for a plethora of creativity, and as a teacher, I know that students learn in different ways. However, group work and collaborative tasks in history allow for a deeper exploration of creativity and imagination of students. This ensures that they question and reflect whilst discussing with their peers as a form of development for their minds and satisfying their imaginations. Much of the past is pieced together by historians through their creativity and imagination, in their directed understanding of unfamiliar structures, contexts, cultures, and belief systems. In this same way, students imagine what the past was like, how and why civilizations did certain things, and where people come from, incorporating historical imagination that is important to both examining the past as well as developing a personal understanding of it. This makes the ability to see from a point of view that is not present-minded central and essential to students' creativity and imagination. Pedagogies in this classroom teaches for creativity in giving students the ability to be comfortable with experimenting, exploring, question assumptions, using imagination, recognizing many possibilities, synthesizing information, and more importantly, having permission to be wrong. They work to actively involve the students in the determination of what knowledge is to be investigated, its importance, as well as giving them a significant amount of control and opportunities to be innovative in this way. Both imagination and creativity are so important in education, in providing students with the freedom of ownership of the knowledge they consume, satiating their curiosity, as well as making education relevant to everyone. Evidently, the impact of both have tremendous effects on students and individuals and must be further encouraged in the education system to ensure that the future generation are provided with adequate opportunities to explore their own minds.